I'm going to show you what I did with the 393 motor to make it work for our Vex virtual bot. Okay, so you see I have it here, but some pieces have come off of it. All right, we're going to talk about why that happens. This is the file, okay? And what's really cool about this file is it may just look like it's a empty shell, but if we, turn off the visibility of some of these pieces, we see whoever made this, they actually put all of the details in here, okay? And we could keep turning off certain parts and, we'd be able to see more and more inside here. But just wanted you to see that. The thing is, in this environment, when you open the file by itself, it behaves like it's supposed to, okay? I could try to grab this and move it around, and nothing's going to come apart, okay? All the joints are like they're supposed to be. All right. Well, unfortunately, it does not quite work like that when you bring it into, for example, your robot assembly, okay? You might have tried this and find that pieces start to fall apart, all right? And that gets really frustrating really fast if you don't know what you're doing, all right? So I'm still a baby Autodesk user myself. It's possible there's a way to copy all of the joints that are, within this file and also bring those in when you insert it into a design. But at this point, I don't know what that is, okay? So let me show you my workaround, and hopefully that'll help you. Of course, one thing you could do if you wanted is, because we are going to have to attach a shaft. Well, first we have to put this little 11 millimeter shaft in here, and then the shaft coupler, okay? So just like before, we've talked about how to do a wheel subassembly and a driver gear subassembly. You would just bring those pieces into here by, right-clicking and say Insert into Current Design, and then you would go about joining them, okay? But you want to be careful when you're joining them that we'll say that the 11 millimeter shaft, it is a rigid, okay, joint, and then the shaft coupler is a revolve joint, all right? And you'll see why that's important in a sec. Now keep in mind, that would actually be kind of breaking the laws of physics because since these things have this shape, this square peg and a square hole, so to speak, on the shaft coupler, the shaft coupler shouldn't be able to revolve around that, right? It'd be interfering with the metal there, but that's okay for what we're doing. All right, so let's come to here. This is my workaround, all right? I'm gonna walk you through that workflow. So right now I've brought in a 3-inch drive shaft and I have actually grounded it, okay? Oh, no, it should be grounded. It is not grounded. It's because I'm at that place in the workflow. What I'm about to do. I've got this 11 millimeter shaft, I've got my shaft coupler, and I've got this motor, okay? So let's move forward. Okay, so first thing I do is I ground it, puts a little push pin by it, all right? Next, I turn this into a rigid group, okay? And so what that looks like, I'll do that one more time in here for you, is I'm gonna bring a motor in. So I'm gonna go to Power, all right? Insert into Current Design, and let's move this thing up over here. Okay, so we'll say okay. And what you'll notice is if you don't create this rigid design, pieces are going to fall apart. All right, so like this, oh no, this is coming off, and oh no, this thing's coming off. All right, piece by piece, one by one, it would all do that. All right, so we do not want that, of course. So anyway, I don't care about this piece, but this stuff I want to keep together, all right? So to do that, what I can do is assemble and do a rigid group, okay? We're just gonna lock all of this stuff together, all right? Let's do capture position, because that's fine, I'll leave that thing over there. And select, I'm just gonna I'm just gonna click on this, and let's see if I can, you know what, I'm gonna select in a different way. Is it gonna let me do this? No. What I'm gonna do is drag from the top left down toward the bottom right. So get this whole thing inside here, and then do my rigid group. All right, so capture position, sure. 28 selected, that sounds great. All right, click OK. So I've got that, and now this thing will move as a unit rather than individual pieces, okay? You'll notice I intentionally brought this wire off here. You can actually not include that, occlude that, I guess is the word. If when you are doing your little box, you do it like from the side, like from this view, for example, and you just include just that, all right? If you touch this thing, the wire would actually get included. Okay, so I don't want that wire because it's going to look funny on the robot since I can't really manipulate it any further. All right, so I've got this piece, and what we're going to do is we're going to attach or join our little guys here. All right, so I just put the 11 millimeter shaft in here. All right, which let's flip the other side so you can see that. All right, and that was just a rigid constraint, and the depth was like 0.28 inches. All right, because this thing is 7.3 millimeters deep. So yeah, it's like 0.28 inches basically. Is how deep that went in there. Then, and that's a rigid constraint. I've got my little guy, the shaft coupler, and I joined the motor to the shaft coupler. That's why the whole thing moved. I chose the shaft coupler second. But I did a revolve here, okay? So with that revolve, we can go back and look at it. What that's going to mean is it will allow free spinning between our drive shaft and our motor, which is good because when the motor's on there, like here, we want this to be able to spin freely without the motor turning. Okay, if it was a rigid constraint, it would try to turn together, and that would not work very well. So on here, what that's going to look like is when I click Animate Model, so we'll do right here, we're going to see the whole motor turning because remember, I ground this axle, all right? So it cannot move, but it's good that this is spinning because that's exactly what we want it to do, all right? So that is how you can deal with the motor for our project.